talk about Kenya, we all watched on the news, on TV, how Kenya boiled earlier in the week. It was surprising to me. Somehow I had a mixed feelings on that. It was somehow surprising and not surprising because not surprising because there is a limit to how far you can actually push people. And the moment you push them to the wall, they'll turn and try to bite you so that you can actually get your hands off them. And that's exactly what happened in Kenya. Why? It was surprising to me because I didn't expect that. I didn't see that coming in Kenya. Actually, yeah, Kenya have been having some issues with their whatever, but I didn't see that. I didn't see that coming this early. We sort of. But my point is, if it worked in Kenya, what is happening? Why is it taking forever to actually work in Nigeria? Because why I ask this question is because Nigeria, the Kenyan situation is just a pinch, a drop of water, excuse me, in an ocean compared to that of Nigeria, the situation in Nigeria. The situation in Nigeria is far, far more precarious, more desperate than what we have in Kenya. Kenya is just what they went on whatever rampage for, and invaded the National Assembly. It was just about tax. No, there are other issues, but it was just, I think it was a cumulative thing that actually resulted to that. But at least the one that actually broke the camel's back was this issue of tax increase. But Nigeria, we have a situation. Our own situation in Nigeria is far, 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 far more desperate than what we have in Kenya. So what is the problem? Why are Nigerians not taking to the streets? What are we waiting for? That is my point. Now in Kenya, of course, what we have noticed, we have seen is that that's what the result. Everybody can see the results of what that happened. No, I'm sorry for those lives that were lost, but people die. But that has always been my point. People will die. The problem is that when you talk about these people, they will say, who won't die or whatever. Look, nothing comes easy. Nothing comes easy. Success, you have to pass through pain to achieve success. And people must look. There is nothing, no pain, no gain. You just can't get it. You can't get it on a platter of gold. Feel freedom all over the world. Freedom cannot be achieved on a platter of gold. You have to. People will die for it. People will be tormented for it. People will pass through pains and agony to achieve this. So in the case of Kenya, yeah, people have died for it, but at least the government of the day has rescinded that bill. A sort of, at least the tax for now, at least will no longer move forward. It has been withdrawn, for God's sake. So why can't we do this? There are so many recklessness, so many things being done with impunity, especially with this crazy government of Bola Tinubu. What are Nigerians waiting for? Barrister, please let me start from you. What do you think? Okay, we have talked about this before. You've given reason why nobody wants to die. But don't you think that Nigeria is overdue for such protest, for government to be held accountable for their misgovernance?
Yes, I will agree with you that Nigeria is overripe for a form of general uprising against our elites, not just the leadership, against the elites at various levels in the country. But it is precisely because of that, and ironic that even because of that, that it's almost impossible to have that uprising. You mentioned Kenya. And you also pointed out that the situation in Kenya is just a tip of the iceberg compared to Nigeria. I wholeheartedly agree with you. And that is also ironic because whereas you see in Kenya, there is a semblance of sanity, both in the leadership and in the followership. In Nigeria, the matter has gone to an extent where there's no sanity anymore, both among the leaders and among the followers. And we always forget that it's not just an issue of the leadership. The followers in Nigeria are as much guilty as the leaders. After all, they say that a society gets the leaders it deserves. In this country, you can become a governor, you can become a minister, you can become the chairman of a federal parastatal and still billions. And there will be massive turnout to welcome you by your people in your village and in your state. Massive. Even if you are coming from prison where they have kept you for a few years, you receive massive support from your people. So you see the way our followers, our people are configured. Maybe this thing has gone on for so long and in such a level that it has neutralized virtually everybody. There's no more sanity, both among the followers and the leaders. So it's difficult to turn the followers into people that will protest and bring up an uprising, quite apart from the various divisive factors that separate people, ethnicity, religion, geopolitics, and the rest that we have talked about on this platform a number of times. So why at the same time you say Nigeria is ripe for that? I repeat, it is ironic. It is the very reason that we have gone so far that makes it difficult to mobilize people here across the board to rise up against the evils of the government and its agents.
Shegun, do you have anything to say about that? Can you share your thoughts on that too? Your mic is muted. Can you unmute in case you are speaking already? Okay. Yeah, anyway.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, yes. It is going to be very difficult for Nigerians to unite to protest. Like you said from the beginning, nobody won't die. And aside from that, the politicians understand that with religion and region, it's very easy to divide people. Immediately you start to gather, they will ask you, who is the leader of this group? Once you mention your name, they'll say, oh, where is now those agitators? Leave them alone. Don't join them. As a Muslim and a true Muslim, you don't protest. They will tell you that clearly. And they would even tell you, if you look at the NSAS protest, in the north, the governors resisted those protests, even if it was in the interest of the people. They made sure that those protests never held. Why? Because it is in their own interest that those things don't hold. Because if they hold, it means then that they would lose their seats and they may be attacked by the same people. Do you understand me? So it is not be that today. In those days, was still together, and Nigeria was still one. At least we were pretending to love each other. It was not much easy for anybody to do anything and gather people and put people together to do things and work it well. Do you understand? So now it's going to be a bit difficult. It is going to be a bit difficult. Okay. So for us to put ourselves together to protest now, why? Because we are not united. And unless and until we are united, it's going to be very, very difficult for us to say, okay, we want to challenge the status quo. Immediately you start to, people will tell you they would rather hand over the case to God than for them to protest and ensure that they get justice. So that is where the problem lies.
I'll hand over the case to God, and of course, God handing over case to God when it comes to governance that is the reason why Nigeria will continue this way until we learn to actually, because God has given us, and that's the problem I have with Nigeria, honestly. God has given us everything to actually take care of situations or whatever. So we're supposed to, there is a time to pray and a time to act. They say prayer without action is dead. I'm sorry, faith without action is dead. You don't pray and just sit by. You pray and you don't sit by, and you don't pray and sit by and wait for God to come down and begin to use whip, horse whip or whatever whip to start flogging people into place, flogging them into place. So that is the unfortunate thing. Again, this mentality of no one wants to die, the mentality of handing this issue to God, if we continue, if we perpetuate ourselves in this such mentality, the situation will actually also be a perpetual situation where there will be no end in sight, and there will be no relief. There will be no there will be nothing good will ever come. Things will keep getting deteriorated, and that's unfortunate thing, honestly. I don't actually subscribe to this issue of nobody wants to die. Like I said earlier, go through history. There is nothing. Freedom doesn't come easy. It is, you just have to fight for it. Life generally is, you fight for something. Something don't just fall under your lap. That is how God has designed, especially after the fall of man. That is the designation of the earth. Everything, how that is the modus operandi of how life works. You have to fight for something. You have to stand up and go for something. Otherwise, you won't get it. So it's unfortunate if we continue with such mentality of nobody won't die, nobody won't die. I have children here. I have people I'm taking care of. People are depending on me. Therefore, whatever. Then somebody has to stand up to actually say, okay, somebody has to bail the cat, at least. Otherwise, we'll keep having this issue in Nigeria. Nigeria will keep. Look, Barrister mentioned this issue. I don't believe in that useless. To me, I'd call it useless, because that useless saying that society is a product of the leadership of society, is a product of society, or a society, the society deserves the leaders that they have. Look. Especially in the Nigerian case, to me, it's always the other way around, because it is the leadership that actually made Nigerians to be what they are, to have that mentality that we have today. Because if we have had a good foundation where our leaders did things patriotically, laid the foundation of our country in a very patriotic manner. Because what we have in the foundation of our country is based on sentiments, religious, tribal, regional sentiments. Our founding fathers, these elements were the elements in their head when they were laying the foundation of this country. Everybody was protecting his or her own religion or region. The Hausas, the Northerners were doing things based on the Northern interest. The other one, the entire marriage is a very strange marriage with strange bedfellows. But marriage that you just come with everyone with different intentions or whatever. So that is the problem, because the leadership of the country, foundation of the country, is what brought us to where we are today. And that is why I rather see it, we are the product of the leaders. Not the leaders being the product of us. No, I refuse to see that, because if you have led well, someone who's laid the foundation, if the good right foundation has been laid, and it goes through up the chain, climb up the ladder, we'll have a different system today. We would have had a different system today. And so that is just it. Please, Barrister, I wanted to say something.
Yes. When I made that statement that a society deserves the leadership it has, it was in the sense, me and you are not talking at cross purposes. We are talking virtually the same thing. A society that refuses or is unable to hold its leaders accountable.
Okay, all right. That's
precisely gets the leaders they deserve. So we are saying virtually, you are saying we should rise up against injustice from our leaders, right? So a society that refuses to do that or is unable to do that they have to fall back on the leaders that they get. And no matter what the leaders do, the society will cope with it because they are unable to hold them accountable. Coming to the issue of people dying for the cause, there is also some dynamics there. In Nigeria, as we speak, people have died, and somebody will tell you that this person died for nothing. This one died for nothing. This one died. I'll give you an example. I think 15 or 20 years ago, a journalist in Kaduna, in Doba Hotel, died in Kaduna, Bagauda Kato. Till today, nobody has even bothered to investigate, bring out what really happened to that person. This man has family, he has people, he has probably dependents. He died inside the one of the biggest hotels in Kaduna here, in Toba Hotel. Nobody hears about it. His death has not been accounted for. Other people like Sarahua were killed. So you have people pointing to you that this person died, this one died, nothing happened, no accountability. So why do you want me to also go and put my neck?
Yeah,
so
but
talking of the dynamics that we have that are making it difficult. There are people who are ready to die. But in dying, you want to start something. You don't just want to die for the sake of dying. You want your death to aggravate an organization or a movement and propel it forward.
Yeah.
If you don't have that basis, if you don't have that foundation, you will just die for nothing.
Yeah, good. I'm glad you made that word. You used that word foundation. Now, the foundation is the basis, is the most important aspect of anything you intend to do. Foundation matters a lot. Now, this issue of dying. You've mentioned a whole lot of death. It happens in all the revolution, all the whatever. You are very, very vast when it comes to revolution globally. I know we have discussed it, but we have talked about this thing in the past, sort of. So, Barrister, you are very vast with all the history of revolution. So this is you know it so well. So in all the revolution, you understand that before the original stuff, before the revolution that eventually took place and ushered in success, there had been similar cases you just mentioned that most people had died in it was coming from somewhere. That revolution was just the one that broke the camel's back as a result of something done by the system that actually now said, no, enough. The system probably did something and the people said, no, it's enough. We've had enough. So people have died. Before that revolution took place, people had died. Several people, probably in some cases, hundreds, and in some cases, thousands have died. There was no result until the main revolution took place. So that is the way. So let's not say this one that died the other time, this one died the other time, that one just like you just enumerated. What happened? Nothing happened. Of course, nothing. No, these things will become a cumulative. This will be part of the cumulative effect when the main thing eventually happens, because people don't just rise up. People rise up based on what you just enumerated. This one died for this, that one died for this, that one died for this, and something now happened. I say, no, enough. We've had it enough. That is just how it works. So anyway, let's move forward to the next topic. Thank you for that. Yes, let's move to the issue of Labour Party.